Today, we're doing something a little different. We're not just telling a company's story, we're going to reverse engineer a revolution. We're talking about the HubSpot blueprint, literally the DNA of what a modern marketing machine looks like. And the crazy part? It all started with one simple, powerful question. So, to really understand what makes HubSpot tick, you've got to jump in a time machine with me and go back to 2006. Picture this. Two grad students at MIT, Brian Holligan and Dharmesh Shah, are looking at the business world, and they see something huge. They realize the entire playbook, the way companies had been winning customers for decades, it was just completely falling apart. And this right here, this is the core of their whole idea. On one side, you've got the old way, outbound marketing. It was basically just yelling at people, right? Interrupting their day to shove a message in their face. But the new way, the one they pioneered, inbound marketing, that was all about helping. It was about attracting customers by just being genuinely useful, not just loud. And believe me, this one little shift, it changed absolutely everything. Okay, so what did this whole age of interruption actually look and feel like? Let's take a quick trip down memory lane, back to the mid-2000s. You remember this, right? The phone rings right in the middle of dinner and it's a telemarketer. For decades, that was a core sales tactic. But then, caller ID came along, and it was like our own personal superhero. Finally, we could see who was calling and just ignore it. The cold call was officially getting the cold shoulder. And what about the mailbox? The physical one. It was just flooded every single day with junk mail. We all got that muscle memory down, right? The walk from the mailbox straight to the recycling bin. Most of that stuff never even got opened. Then you had the big guns, TV and radio ads. Primetime TV ads were king for so long, but then came TiVo, DVRs. These things were a total game changer. They gave us, the viewers, the ultimate superpower, the skip button. And just like that, millions of dollars in ad money could just disappear with a single click. And of course, we can't forget the digital version of junk mail, spam. Companies thought they could just blast out millions of emails and get noticed. But, spam filters got way smarter, way faster. They were like silent bouncers at a club, sending those messages straight to a digital graveyard. Yeah, the whole era of interruption was officially on life support. So you have to ask, why were all these tried and true tactics failing all at once? It wasn't just about the new gadgets, the TiVos and the caller IDs. The real revolution was happening inside our heads. The internet had created a totally new kind of customer, the self-service buyer. And this is where the power completely shifted. Buyers just didn't need a salesperson anymore to get information. We had Google, we had blogs, social media, online reviews. We could do all our own research, and we'd only reach out to a company when we were good and ready. The message was clear. We wanted to learn, not be sold to. And that's the exact moment where Halligan and Shaw saw their big opportunity. They had this incredible insight. If buyers are now teaching themselves, then the companies that win are going to be the ones that become the best teachers. And that simple idea led to a whole new philosophy. They called it inbound marketing. And this definition really is everything. Look, the goal isn't to go out and find customers anymore. The goal is to get found by them. The whole idea is to create stuff, content, that's so genuinely useful that your perfect customers are just drawn to you like a magnet. You're pulling them in instead of pushing your message out. I love this quote. It's basically their entire business plan in a single sentence. It just perfectly sums up that massive shift we've been talking about. The takeaway is simple. Stop interrupting what people are interested in and instead become what they're interested in. Okay, so it's one thing to have a great philosophy, right? But how do you actually turn that into a multi-billion-dollar company? Well, you build the tools that make the philosophy possible. Let's dive into HubSpot's very first product. So their first product was this brilliant all-in-one dashboard. It was basically the ultimate toolkit for this new way of marketing. It wasn't just one thing, it was the whole arsenal. You had blogging tools to create the content, SEO tools so people could find you on Google, social media stuff to share it, landing pages to actually capture leads, and then email automation to nurture them. It was the whole shebang all in one place. And this is where we get to the absolute genius of their strategy. Seriously, if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. They used their own inbound marketing To sell their inbound marketing software. They didn't just talk the talk, they were the living, breathing proof that this whole thing actually worked.
So here's how that flywheel worked in practice. First, they created a ton of free, super helpful content. Blog posts, ebooks, you name it, answering pretty much any marketing question you could think of. All that content started ranking #1 on Google, which brought their ideal customers, small and medium-sized businesses, right to their doorstep. And the kicker? At the end of every single blog post, the call to action was, hey, want to try the software that helps you do exactly what you just learned? It was perfect. They created the demand and sold the supply in this beautiful, self-reinforcing loop.
But they were just getting started. Once they nailed the marketing problem, they immediately started looking for the next problem their customers were running into. And this timeline really shows you how they grew from just a niche tool into a massive platform. So they start in 2006 with the Marketing Hub, which was all about attracting leads. Then, by 2011, they'd found a new problem to solve and launched the Sales Hub. And then, in 2014, they did something really bold. They released a completely free CRM. So the big aha moment for the Sales Hub was just brilliant. Think about it. Their customers were using the Marketing Hub to get all these amazing warm leads, but their sales teams were still stuck in the past, cold calling people. It was a huge disconnect. So HubSpot said, okay, we need to build tools for this new way of selling too. Now that free CRM, oh man, that was their Trojan horse. It was an absolutely killer move. By giving away a really powerful CRM for free, they just completely removed any reason not to try them. Thousands of small companies signed up. And then, as those businesses grew, what was the most obvious next step? Upgrading to the paid HubSpot tools they were already using. It was an unbelievable engine for growth. Okay, so what can we learn from all this? Because this isn't just a cool story about a tech company. It's actually a blueprint, a playbook that you can apply to pretty much any industry out there. Let's break it down into 4 simple steps. Step 1, find a broken playbook in your industry. Some old, clunky way things are done. Step 2, create a solution that combines super useful, free content with software that makes it easy to put that content into action. Step 3, this one's key. Use your own methodology to market your product. You have to be your own best case study. And finally, step 4, once you solve that first problem, look for the very next adjacent problem your customers have, and go solve that one too. And that really brings us to the final question. HubSpot totally changed the game by choosing to help instead of yell. So I want you to think about your own industry, your own world. What's the broken playbook there? What old interruptive way of doing things is just sitting there, waiting for its own inbound revolution?